Here at GRTV, we're not afraid to dive into the deep end and go where no one else has dared go before, and that's why we try out new concepts every now and then, and this one is called The Good, The Bad and The Ugly. It's sort of 3 games that we picked that fit these categories, and we do mini reviews of them of sorts. So, yeah.
It's kind of stuff that we didn't really have the time to delve into earlier here on GRTV. So we're going to put them together into one neat little show. And of course, first up in The Good, The Bad and The Ugly is The Good.
Yes, because otherwise you'd just turn it off.
Probably. But yeah, The Good. Yeah. In this case is Might and Magic Clash of Heroes.
Oh yeah.
The heroes have been clashing. Initially, they did it on the Nintendo DS.
Yep.
Now it's out on PSN and Xbox Live. And you've been playing it.
Yep. It was a brilliant game on Nintendo DS, and thankfully Ubisoft have now ported it so that it can get a larger audience because it really deserves it. It's a strategy RPG that really, I mean, the story and everything, it could have been taken from a Japanese RPG. It's like, all right, the younger generation trying to redeem something, trying to, you know, save the world, blah, 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 go on an epic quest thing.
What kids do these days.
Yeah, but it's kept really sort of short and to the point, the story, and it really keeps you interested even though you've heard it so many times before. So it's well told, the story. That's what I'm trying to put across.
But the gameplay is actually a mix between being tactical and kind of like a puzzle game.
Yeah. What you have is you have units and you have different colors on the units. Like your base units have, I think it's 3 different colors, and then you have elite units and champion units, and they all take up different squares. But basically the basic principle is that if you create a horizontal line, you create a wall in the same colors. And then if you create a vertical line, you will create an attack. And if you pair three units together. So that's the basics of it. You can create chains, you can fuse, you can do all these kind of things to sort of, because you have 3 moves every turn, and you can create more moves by fusing and by linking things and by chaining, and it's really very, very deep, and it's...
Is it as addictive as...
It's really
those
addictive.
puzzle games
Yes, it is. And also the thing that it does is, and what they really do well is the fact that battles are very different. So there's different objectives in different battles. I mean, one battle, for instance, is a case where you're opening a gate. You have to hit 2 things at the same time with attacks, and nothing else matters. You're getting opponents all the time as you would in a normal battle, but you got to hit those 2 in the same turn. And that kind of thing makes for very sort of interesting things, because you have to mix up your tactics when you face different kind of enemies like that in different situations. So that's something that they've done really, really well.
All right. Let's move over to The Bad.
The Bad, and
which you've also played.
I've also played The Bad.
Ghostbusters.
I'm really sad about this one. I actually thought
me too.
It could have been good. It's
it's bad.
Yes, a top-down shooter, 4-player Ghostbusters.
Sounds brilliant in concept.
Yes. Unfortunately, it's the gameplay mechanics and the concept for it is just like, it's too shallow. There just isn't enough depth. There isn't enough sort of meat in this whole stew to sort of keep you playing. It is sort of, you know, when you play 4 players online, it's passable, you know, it's But there are so many things about it that could have been better that I don't even know where to start.
Let's start with one very important part. And you did an interview with one of the guys, which is up on Game Reactor, but about crossing the beams. You don't have to worry about crossing the beam, which is a huge thing for Ghostbusters.
But I mean, if this game would not allow you to cross the beams, let me tell you,
you'd be crossing the beams all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, look at Magic. We cross beams in Magic all the time, and that goes to hell.
Yeah.
Kind of. humoristic way.
Yeah.
So-
The frustration levels are high enough in this game as it is. You don't need more frustration, believe me. And it's not humorous at all. It's just, I mean, even at 800 points or $10, it feels expensive for what you're getting.
That's bad.
It is bad, and you know, it's just, you know, it's. I mean, in a game that's this short, I mean, it takes about 2 hours to complete, play all 12 levels, and they still manage to sort of recycle the levels. I mean, come on, you know, that's not a good thing. And really, there's no progression in the gameplay. I mean, it's all there from basically from the start, and then, you know, different color different color weapons, and there's no sort of way of like. The weapons have different functionality, but since you can only be efficient against one color ghost, there is no point in sort of trying to use the shotgun in a certain situation because the ghost needs to be that color. And also, where's the dodge button? I mean, I would love to have had some sort of means of sort of getting out of the way or you know, avoiding attacks as well, other than just trying to, you know, run backwards and run round or things like that. So it's not deep enough.
All right, that's too bad.
So it's bad.
Bad.
And that takes us to the ugly.
Talk about shoehorning a game into a category, though. But yeah, it's not a graphical masterpiece. It's The Sims Medieval.
Yeah, but medieval times were ugly.
Those were some ugly times. Have you
Yes.
seen?
I haven't
Secret
been
of the
there.
Rose. Terrible people, ugly people. Anyway, Sims Medieval. Yeah, I've actually been playing this.
Yes.
The Sims during medieval times, more or less.
Yeah.
At the basis of it, you kind of. It's not what we're used to when it comes to The Sims. You start out by creating your king or queen, and then you actually get quests that you have to do, and slowly you kind of build up your village from just being more or less just the castle in the middle. You start to build out new buildings to place by doing more quests and stuff like that. You don't actually get to build any buildings yourself. Instead, just furnish the ones that are there. And of course, you'll do quests, find a spouse, defeat monsters, throw people in the stocks, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course the reason why it's ugly is also because they want to keep the system specs low.
Yeah, of
So
course.
everyone can
Of
play
course,
it.
it's a Sims game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should work on a toaster more or less.
Yeah. And ugly doesn't necessarily mean bad. That's why we have 3 categories, right? Because
exactly.
you've enjoyed.
You're feeling kind of guilty now.
Yeah,
we shoehorn in what is
should-
actually a pretty okay game.
Yeah. Pretty okay? Is that
It's
your?
pretty. I'm gonna say pretty okay.
Yeah.
It's it has its moments and it's kind of fun, but it kind of loses the focus that The Sims has. I'm a huge Sims 3 fan. I thought it was great. I rewarded it 9 out of 10 when it was released, and I think that was like the ultimate at that point in time Sims game. Now you kind of lose the focus that you had in Sims 3. You're gonna lose the freedom that you had. Since you have to pursue these quests, otherwise your character gets more and more sad. You can only control 1 or 2 at the same time, depending on which quest it is, and you don't get to build crazy houses or stuff like that. But still, it's fun. It's fun to rule a kingdom with an iron fist and walk around and say hello to your villagers and then send them off to the pit. Just because they ate your food or looked at you funny or whatever. So it still has that kind of Sims fun, but I don't think this is for everyone. It's kind of tedious compared to the other ones. So some people's gonna love it, of course, but
So that was the ugly.
that was the ugly.
In the good, the bad, and the ugly.
The good, Might and Magic, Clash of Heroes. Bad, Ghostbusters, Sanctum of Slime, and ugly, Sims Medieval.
That's it.
Yeah.
And if this one works out, maybe we'll be back for more.
Who knows?